Today, we explore the importance of experimenting when creating.
That's the one thing that can actually help me to just calm down and go tunnel vision.
Local artists immortalizes Calgarian icons.
Because I like to push the envelope and all the people that I paint.
Creativity and business. What a pair.
I always, at Christmas time, wanted to be giving back.
And we experience a gallery tour through the eyes of the artist.
These works exemplify Black womanhood.
This and more on Living a Creative Life. I'm Adora Wonfor, and welcome to Living a Creative Life. Here to celebrate those that inspire us with their authenticity, passion, and talent in whatever form it may take, be it textiles, painting, and even business. Touring the socials as Stephanie_Banksy brightens our day with this watercolor painting of flowers. On display at the Layton Art Center, at Brittany Tuff shares this intricate watercolor painting. And at Chad Buddick shares his first attempt at painting a person. Love it. If you've had any kind of commute through Signal Hill or visited the Central Library, you've already seen some of their talent on display. What level of importance does Keegan Starlight place on experimentation when creating?
But when I first started out, I was doing more comic book style work, and but I loved doing portraits. Portraits was like my number one jam. Started going more into it, and I started getting more technical, and I started making it a little bit more photorealistic. And then I started transitioning that to painting. Now, I hated painting when I first started because I couldn't understand it. And then when I met my wife, she was the one who actually showed me, you just have to let go, stop trying to control it. And the way she taught me that was through watercolor. So I learned how to use the waters for what they were and just let them kind of just do their thing. So I started figuring out how to use my primaries and my secondary colors to create portraits. So then I started getting more into portraits with oil paints, and from that I kind of went to doing more monochromatic. So I would use the same tones to build up the image that I had, and then I would just use the little highlights, maybe a little splash of color here and there, and just to liven it up. And then you've got like the coral kind of pink that I like to use for my skies. And for me, it was always like when I would go out and work with my dad and go work, do things with my family, there would always be that sunset, and you just have to stop and look at a sunset every now and then, right? But living out here on the reserve, that's all you can do, right? It's so calming. It helps me to understand that this is the right path that I'm going on. I think with painting, that's the one thing that can actually help me to just calm down and just go tunnel vision on what I need to get done, right? When it comes to my painting, I just sit there and I'm just in the moment, right? So I start and then I look up and then 3-4 hours have gone by and my wife is telling me supper's ready. So I'm just like, that's the nice part about it, is it's one of those things that can really just ground a person. I always tell it to my wife. I'm like, if I don't think if I had you guys, I probably wouldn't be doing art because it's just me. It's not as meaningful when it's just you. And I think that, you can quote Andy Warhol and, Vincent van Gogh all you want, right? But I mean, they weren't around when you were starting. Their work is still here, but I mean, who's there for you and who's supporting you, right? And I think that's the biggest thing. And if it's you that's supporting you, then hey, just do as best you can. If you're proud of what you do, then man, you're on the right path.
Creativity isn't always given its proper credit when it comes to business. But being an entrepreneur in these current times, you have to think outside the socks.
Sock Rocket is a Calgary-based social enterprise. Basically what we do is design and build funky socks, as you can see. We sell them across the world, and then every pair of socks that we sell, we also donate 3 pairs to Canadian-based agencies who are providing clothing to those in need. A social enterprise is basically a business that's operating inside a capitalist structure that's applying charitable concepts to the business itself. So essentially just donating large chunks of profit to social good.
Now, when did your business start and why did you decide socks? They're so beautiful. We're going to talk about the artistic part, but let's begin with how Sock Rocket began.
We started in 2016. I always, at Christmas time, wanted to be giving back. So we started going downtown and just handing out socks on Christmas Day. And it just really evolved into this, you know, if I can do this, well, this is relatively easy to do. How can I apply this to a business and essentially crowdfund these donations? So that was the spark.
I feel like you're killing the social enterprise game. How many feets are enjoying these socks?
So we've donated almost 200,000 pairs of socks so far in the 6 years that we've been in business. Most of that has come in the last 2 years, so we were able to donate almost 100,000 pairs of socks this year so far. It started very locally here in Calgary with a lot of Calgary Drop-In Center, the Alpha House, the Children's Cottage, the Mustard Seed, and then our customer base expanded across the country, so we expanded across the country with our donations as well. Yeah, almost 200,000 pairs of socks donated.
How did you get the ideas to create these different designs?
Our in-house illustrator is Jessica Phillips, professionally trained. She went to ACAD here in Calgary. We make a lot of jokes, so we try to just be as bubbly and fun and quirky as possible. We don't take ourselves very seriously at all. In this world specifically, people latch onto puns and they latch onto just self-expression through comedy.
Tommy, what does it mean to you to be able to express yourself in this way, comically, and impact people's lives?
Just to be able to have fun. I think in this world, this is not a business model that I think would have been viable 20 to 30 years ago. Now that we're here and now that the internet allows for it and people are really seeking out fun in their consumerism, I think that yeah, it means a lot to me to be able to provide that, especially at the holidays. I love knowing that people are opening up Sock Rocket on Christmas morning and having a laugh and you know, sharing some fun times with their family.
Today, we're going to talk to a painter. Yeah, I know, you might think it's boring, typical, but Kim Parent is not. She is painting us who are here in Calgary, big names, little names, and sometimes people who are shaking things up. Why did you decide to become an artist and choose paint?
I was always interested in art. I was brought up painting with my mom. She's actually a watercolorist, but I went to U of C and I majored in art history, and I just love art and painting and pop culture. It's fascinating. It's not just art, it's history. It's so much more.
Can you tell us some of your favorite works that you've done?
I've done some luchadoras and luchadors. I used to paint, well, I still do, paint Mexican wrestlers, and that's where it all started. For the love of the sport, the costumes, the masks, the creativity and the personas. And then I went to Expo Lucha in Las Vegas. I had a booth in Las Vegas, and a lot of the wrestlers from all over the world were like, "You're from Calgary? What? Like, shut up, because you have the most iconic wrestlers." And you know, and then a light bulb went off. I'm thinking, why aren't I painting our iconic wrestlers? And that's where that's all started.
I'm wondering what prompted you to kind of make it, in my personal opinion, like a little prettier, a little fruffier.
Well, I think, you know, like Bret Hart always gets flack for wearing pink, or wrestlers wearing pink, right? And I think, you know what, good on him, right? It's like, what difference, what color it is. And sparkle, I think, I try to use it in a minimalistic way so it'll show up in some light and not in others. Whereas this painting here, like it shows up when there's light on it,
Right.
but not so much when there's no light on it. I think it adds a dimension, makes the painting come to life a little bit when light shines on it.
People that you choose to paint and how you choose to show them seems to me like on the forefront of what we want our world to be. So do you think that creating these sorts of things, you're doing the same?
Yeah, and I think it's important to make your art stand out and maybe give back to the community that you grew up in. Like, it's not always art for sale, I think. Like,
Right.
I mean, to some artists it is, but there's a bigger force within me that it's not all about money. Because I like to push the envelope a little bit, and all the people that I paint, they're colorful and they're making a statement. So hopefully I can do the same.
Simone Elizabeth Saunders weaves herself in the past, present, and future to create textile art unlike any I have experienced. What's it like for her to have her first gallery exhibition, and what's the true impact of her work beyond the wall? How did you start your journey to becoming an artist?
I've always been a creative person. It's been really a part of my life since I was a girl. My mom taking me to dance, to piano lessons, and really nurturing that artistic side to myself. And I studied at ACAD, which is now the Alberta University for the Arts. And there I fell in love with the fiber department there. Then I was introduced to the tufting gun. They did not have the resources there. One of my instructors showed me a slide of an artist using a tufting gun, and I just knew that was for me.
Give me a little background of tufting and how you would create something like this out of this world piece.
When I started, I had not seen a lot of people with this craft. The one artist that I saw, she does these beautiful rugs that are for stairs and for the wall. Her name is Trish Anderson, and I really latched on to see what she was doing and to study online, which there was not a lot of resources. So essentially I had to teach myself. It wasn't until the pandemic that there were really all these hobbyist tufters that just started to like explode on the internet. And so when I started this practice, I was really passionate about my sense of belonging in the world. And so these portraits of Black women is not only for me, but it's for my ancestors and for the generation to come. And so they're really colorful. They, weave in a lot of narrative from different inspirations, whether it's the music I'm listening to or plays I've read or literature that I'm reading. For me, there's just this sense of play and investigation into my culture and the culture that Black women bring to our world, to our society. We are all beauty, we are all vulnerability, we are all sensuality, we are all softness. And that feeling of always needing to be strong, that's what it's melting all away.
What does it feel like to know that this isn't something that somebody like yourself or like myself really gets to do on a regular basis? I'll be honest, I never saw a Black exhibit from anybody from Calgary or really a Black person in Canada at all at a museum. How does it feel to know that you're changing history?
I mean, that in itself is all worth it. It's time. And what is such an honor for me is that, these works exemplify Black womanhood, and to lift up our voices and to be seen is the most incredible sentiment that comes from me, is for Black women to be seen and respected and acknowledged, and it's time. And so for me to know that young Black children and children of color are coming and looking up to these works, I mean, that's the legacy that's starting in Calgary, and I don't want it to stop.
Wishing everyone at this time of year a happy holiday in whatever way you, me, and all of us may celebrate. If you have a story, project, or example of living creatively, please send to submissions@calgaryartsdevelopment.com or post online with the hashtag YYCLCL. See you next time on Living a Creative Life.